Jaya Nityaānanda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya, Jaya Nityaānanda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Vande Guru Nisha Bhaktan, Isha Nisha Vatarakan, Tat Prakasham Tatat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sangyakam, Grantira Arambha Kori Mangalacharana. Guru Vaishnav Bhagavan Tinera Smarana Hoya Vigana Vinashana Anayasa Sapal Nija Vanchita Purana Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityānanda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for joining. So we are reading Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Adi Lila, chapter 5, the glories of Lord Nityaānanda Balarāma. Read till text 157 yesterday, talking about the unlimited karuna, kripa of Lord Balarāma, which has no end, infinite and unfathomable. Ara eka shuno tanra kripara mahima adhama jivera chara haila urdhva sima. Ara eka shuno tanra kripara mahima adhama jivere charaila urdhva sima. Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Please listen to another glory of his mercy. He made a fallen living entity climb to the highest limit. Hare Kṛṣṇa. So, talking about Lord Nityaānanda, everyone is very fallen in Kali Yuga, as we discussed yesterday also briefly. Tara Sakshi Jagai Madai. The proof of their mercy is Jagai and Madai, who were very dacoits, drunkards, did all sorts of nonsense activities, but Lord Nityaānanda gave them Krishna Prem through the medium of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Nityaānanda begged for their case to not kill them, but to kill the demoniac propensity inside. That's the point here. What's the verse? 158. Adhama Jivera. Adham, the most fallen. What did they give? Chadaila, unko, he uplifted. Urdhva Sima, the topmost. Urdhvam gachanti satvas. The urdhva means up. Adham means down. Adho gachanti tamasaha. The lowest beings, he gave them the topmost thing. That is Krishna Prema. That's Lord Balarāma. Let's read the next verse. Yes, Vipul Prabhu, you want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees, Dhamma Pranam, all go to Śrīla Prabhupada. Text 159. Bedo gujjo katha hi ajoggo kohite, tatape kohiye tar kripa prakashite. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. To disclose, it is not proper, for it should be kept as confidential as the Vedas, yet I shall speak of it to make His mercy known to all. So, this is a very confidential information that Sri Krishna Kaviraj Goswami wants to speak out, but Ajoggo Kohita, I think he himself telling himself that he is not qualified to, but he is going to speak about this. the mercy of the Lord. Back to Guruji. Hare Krishna. Please correct.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So, Lord Nityaānanda is the subject here. The whole chapter is entitled, and here Śrī Caitanya Goswami is, what is he telling in the previous verse? Please listen to another glory of his mercy. So basically, he's about to share an instance, an example of his mercy in the following verses. A story, right? Like if you say someone is very merciful, then won't we, give some example? Okay, what do you mean? Like we give the example of Jagai Madai. If someone is say, oh, someone is very charitable, right? Then we'll give some example. Oh, he donated so and so amount for so and so noble cause. Or if someone says someone is very, very, like for anything, for example, like, oh, someone runs very fast. Oh, he ran and he got the first prize in the school marathon, something like that. Example proves the point, isn't it? So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, although his mercy is unlimited, but just to give one episode, of that, he's going to share a very special, confidential story. Let's go and see what he's about to share. Yes, Vijaya Mataji, you want to read, please?
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Lasha upari lakhori tomara prasala Nityaānanda Prabhu mora kashma aparada kashma aparada. O Lord Nityaānanda, I write of your mercy out of great exultation. Please forgive me for my offenses.
Thank you, Mataji. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is actually writing about his own story, how he received the mercy of Sri Nityaānanda, as we discussed in which verse 158. He made a fallen living entity climb to, actually he's referring to his own self, basically, because a pure devotee considered himself very fallen, and a fallen soul considered himself very advanced. That's a spiritual kind of inverse. So let's now read about this wonderful story. 161. Yes, Baswati Mataji, you want to please read?
Dhanavat Pranaam, everyone. Text 161. অবধূত গোসাইর এক ভৃত্য প্রেমধাম মিনকেতন রামদাস হয় তার নাম. Can you scroll up a little bit more? Okay. Translation. Lord Nityaānanda Prabhu had a servant named Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta, who was a reservoir of love. So Lord Nityaānanda Prabhu had a servant named Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta. So back to you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So one word used for Gosai, Nityaānanda Gosai, is Avaduta. Avaduta means like a transcendental mendicant. It was like whose activities are not understood by common people. And his Premadham, wow, his servant Premadham, who was a reservoir of love. It's very nice adjective used to describe Miniketana Ramdas. Let's see what this story is. Amara alaya ahoratra sankirtan tahate aila tinho pana nimantrana. At my house there was Sankirtan day and night, and therefore he visited there, having been invited. So who is my here?
Kubesh Goswami.
Goswami. So he's sharing the story. And who is he here?
The Meenakatam.
Minaketan Ramdas, the servant. Okay, let's read. Let's read the next verse. Yes, people prove you can read.
Thank you, devotees. Dhanavad Pranam. All goes to Śrīla Prabhupada. Text 163. মহাপ্রেমময় তিহ বসিলা অঙ্গনে সকল বৈষ্ণব তার বন্দিলা চরণে. Translation by His Divine Grace, S. Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada, Śrīla Prabhupada Joy. Absorbed in emotional love, he sat in my courtyard, and all the Vaishnavas bowed down at his feet. Back to Puja. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. This is the story of Minaketan Ramdas actually, till text 179. So he was certainly reservoir of love, Premadham, basically a pure devotee, right? And we should certainly bow down at the lotus feet of such a pure devotee. So everyone did. All the Vaishnavas offered their humble obeisance, right? Please accept my humble obeisance. This is a very important thing. Sometimes, we may say Dandavat Pranaam, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranaam, or we write in the chat and stuff like that. But when we actually meet devotees, then the first thing we should do, we should offer humble obeisance. This writing and this chatting and all that is okay, but I have observed that this should be part of the Vaishnava culture. This is part of the Vaishnava culture. Whenever we see devotees, whether in temple, whether at home, whether at Bhakti Vriksha, etc., etc., we must offer our humble obeisance, as kind of shown here by example. We must bow down, not just like physically, not just say Prabhuji, Pranaam, Pranaam. Unless we have some like a severe knee issue or something, we can't bow down. That is understandable. One cannot bow down due to health issues. But if one can, and if Krishna allows one's body to bow down, then one must bow down to the Vaishnavas, the deities, to Tulsi, etc. Yes, Lakshay, Prabhu, want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, before that I have just would like to know about what you said, bow down. Those are Vaishnava etiquette, but sometimes Prabhuji, it's not possible when there is a big hall, so many devotees are present, and that time bowing down to the floor, sometimes it's not possible. But if we do leaning our head to the devotees and saying Dandavat Pranam, is that okay? Because sometimes it's not possible to bow down, and it's a big hall, so many people. That's what I mean.
I mean, it's basically Krishna sees more what's in the heart. So of course, there's no like one, right answer to this question, in my humble opinion. Some devotees may say, but the point is, Krishna sees what's in the heart. But at the same time, if it's really not possible, then yes, as I said, if someone has health issues, or someone, let's say, if they meet outside in the rain, it's raining heavily, and it's, you have to see you don't want to bow down and you have to get wet, and and make the other person, let's say, so we meet a senior devotee, and it's, oh no, let's bow down, everyone offer obeisance and let them get wet. That's not so they can come inside and then offer the pranams, right, to use our Krishna given intelligence. But the idea is we must offer pranams. And sometimes it may, like, you meet a devotee at Costco, let's say, you're going to Costco. You have to see, like how will it positively impact, right? But at Bhakti Vriksha, at home programs, etc., we must do it, because sometimes on the name of, it's a nice, like, as nectar of instructions in Niyam Agraha and Niyam Agraha. Niyam Agraha is to follow rules just for the sake of following rules. Oh, Prabhuji said we have to bow down. Okay, we'll just bow down, whether it's in I see someone at the school, I see in the the Costco, or in the shopping mall. That's like, but Niyam Agraha means, oh, ultimately everything is in the heart. Why to bow down? If I just say heart to heart, right? It's, so that's, both extremes are not wrong. Both extremes are wrong. Sorry, both extremes are wrong. But ultimately, as I said, Bhakti Vriksha, home programs, temple programs, festivals, etc. We're meeting a devotee, going to their home, or a devotee is coming. That time, it's possible and it's certainly doable, and we must do it at least at those times. Does that help, or
Yes,
complicated?
No, yes, thank you.
Yes. People probably want to add to this or correct.
So sometimes, as Mataji said, when there is a like hall program, lot of people, so just not the full bowing down, that should be done, but I do just touch the feet and take the, like Rama Prabhu see, touch the feet and take the dust, but not fully bowing down. I don't know right or wrong that way do in front of everybody.
I guess we just have to follow what Prabhupada has given. Especially, all of you are in a position where you are impacting others also. Others are seeing, because the leaders, Mahajana Yenagata Sapata, the others will follow what the leaders will do. So you are leader for some, Bhaskar is leader for some, they are looking up to you as Bhakti Vriksha leaders, community leaders, etc. So they will follow what you do, whether you say it or don't say it. Naturally they will follow, because they are new, right? If a new person comes, okay, that's what these Vaishnavas do, I'll follow. So we have to follow as far as possible. Again, keeping the Niyam Agra and the Niyam Agra, both principles in mind. So we have to do the needful. Sometimes, let's say you are carrying, like, let's say, a big plate of, you it's a potluck. You're carrying a hot dish, and then at that time, if you bow down, it will spill or something, right? So we are not fanatics, right? No, forget about that dish, you have to bow. That's like fanatism, because scriptures say you have to bow down, and when you bow down, forget about anything. That's fanatism, right? At that time, okay, we in the heart offer obeisance, and then keep the dish at the right place, right? And then when we have things, sometimes we're going for a program, one hand speaker, one hand books, one hand some dish, We may not be, we see Vaishnavas, the immediate thing, first thing is we bow down. But if we have, let's say, 10 things, either we give them to someone or keep them at a safe place, and then we can bow down, right? So, Deshakal Paristhiti has to be kept. Time, place, situation has to be kept in mind. But at the same time, a nice balance is required to not go on either extremes. That's my humble no. So as I said, there's no one answer, because this is like a situational questions don't have one answer, right? We have to understand the principle correctly and apply it to the best of our abilities. There is no one answer to these such questions. The principle is there, and sometimes, let's say someone is at the bed, like Bhishma Pitama example is there. How he offered, it comes in the Bhagavatam, how he prostrated, how he welcomed his guest, how he gave them, everything a guest, Vaishnavas. He could not move. His body was on arrows, but he still did, right? The principle is there, and then by situational, circumstantial things, it will be applied differently in different settings. And that needs a lot of maturity, humility, guidance, and sincere desire to live by those. And then Krishna will give us the right intelligence. Talking about Rupa Goswami, we used to bow down Sankhya Purvaka. Thousands of times they used to bow down. Think about that. Thousands of times they used to bow down every day. This is our. In Bhagavad Gita, so many places Krishna mentions Namaskuru, Namaskuru, right? To offer your pranams, Namaskar. You offer your humble obeisance. So we must do. That's the easy thing, actually. If we say to focus completely on Krishna, it's harder, right? Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. So in the first line is a little bit harder. The second line is more on the, at least physically we can bow down. When we learn to physically there are a lot of episodes and pastimes about. One time devotee saw, you won't believe this. This may seem like a fanatism, but Prabhupada, this may not like, fanatism is not the right word. This may seem like too much. One devotee, Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta was mentioning, he used to make rotis. He was the cook so he would make roti, bring it to Prabhupada, bow down, then give the roti. Then go back to the kitchen, get the next roti, bow down and give the next roti. Again, like that. If you make 10 trips, he'll bow down 10 times. Just think about that. And of course, Prabhupada there are other instances also where Prabhupada has said, get up and do something, right? Not to him, but to another devotee, right? Oh, like someone was like, like the floor was not clean, and this devotee is bowing down for like 10 minutes or something. Like, I don't remember the exact story. Prabhupada said, get up and do something. Clean this floor, in short, right? So that's devotional service. So there's no like, the other instance, one devotee saw Prabhupada and did not bow down. Prabhupada said he'll fall down very shortly. Seeing the spiritual master, one does not bow down. It's a big. One devotee asked Prabhupada, I don't feel like bowing down, but I still do it. Prabhupada said, please continue. Whether we feel it or don't feel it. See, engaging the mind is harder, but engaging the body is easier. If we bow down, then we develop that humility slowly, gradually, that Bowing down is basically the highest part of our body touching the lowest part. Lowest part is basically they're touching the feet to the head to the ground, where people put their feet, or the Lord puts their feet. That's basically like the more deeper understanding, that my highest part of my body, head is considered the brain, like the real guide, like the intelligence. I'm giving the topmost thing I have at your feet. So bowing down. When one bows down, naturally blessings outpour. One story about bowing down, since you're talking about importance of bowing down. Bowing down to deities, bowing down to devotees, bowing down to Tulasi, who is also a devotee, holy places, etc., etc., holy rivers. When we enter a river, ocean, even whether you enter, like let's say you go to Clearwater Beach, I've seen like one devotee, I remember Shamanand Prabhu, I was going to a beach with him. He would bow down to the ocean before entering. And, right, he would not just enter the ocean. So all the holy rivers we go, we must bow down, even the ocean. That for multiple reasons, of course. Yeah, story about bowing down. Kurukshetra war was about to begin. Dharmraj Yudhishthir comes to the side of the Kauravas, and everyone is a little surprised. Why is he coming here? The war is about to begin. And he bows down. He bows down. Like, imagine, the war is about to begin. Their opponents, they are like ready to kill each other practically. And he's bowing down to his seniors, like Dronacharya, Bhishma Pitama, Kripacharya, etc. And what they are giving him, the blessing, Vijay Bhava. May you live a long life, may you be victorious. So even the lesson there is, even an enemy bows down. Let's say if someone has deep anger towards us, or we have anger towards anyone, let's say envy, anger, whatever, any negative feeling, and that person comes and just bows down. Naturally, all those feelings will just go away. And same, if we have envy or anything, and we've done wrong or whatever, we just take a lower position, bow down. That will melt someone's heart, and blessings naturally outpour. So seeing this, that how come Dhritarashtra, how come these Dronacharya, Bhishma Pitama on my side, this Duryodhana is thinking, hey, are you on my side or their side? You are supposed to give blessings to me, right? But you're blessing him to be Vijay Bhava. And then Bhishma Pitama speaks a very nice point. If you would have given your false ego and envy and bowed down to your elder brother, he would have also given you the same blessing. May you be victorious. Because Dharmraj Yudhishthira is the elder brother of Duryodhana. There was no doubt in there. And bowing down to elder brother is sacred. It's Vedic culture. He's like a father, right? But out of your false ego and envy, you did not feel it appropriate, right? So anyways, that was not part of the question, but thought to share since. So blessings naturally outpour. One more pastime coming to my mind. Someone asked Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj, oh, you know what happens When you may have heard this. Have you ever heard? Oh, when we touch someone's feet, we get their karma and say stuff like that. Has anyone heard
Yes.
like that?
Yes.
So someone asks a question. Oh, I'm a devotee. If I touch the feet of my parents, and they're not so nice devotees, then I may get their karma. And blah, 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 blah. Or I touch the feet of elders, let's say, whatever, my dadi, my mosi, whatever, my teachers, right? Then we should not do it. So that was a kind of a question. Should we do it? Should we not do it? What do you think?
Do it.
Do it. They are elders, so respect.
Mm.
Should give respect to them.
And they'll give some blessings anyway, whatever they are.
Yes, Maharaj gave a very, very nice witty reply. He said, I have heard less problems about bowing down, touching the feet, and getting problems, but I have heard a lot of problems when they don't bow down and end up in so many complications. These days, brothers are fighting, parents and children, hardly any healthy relationships, very. I mean, the younger, like when they grow elder, what to speak of bowing down, even, saying kind words becomes very rare. So Maharaj gave a very nice reply that there are less problems by bowing down, but a lot more by not bowing down. False ego pops up. Now I'm a self-made man. Now I have a nice job. Now I have a home of my own. Now my parents, what do I need them for? They need me, right? So things like that. False ego is very strong. This is to humble us, to take a humble position. Bowing down will make the heart soft. Bowing down will make one humble. Bowing down will naturally enable one to be the recipient of the serving. Energy flows from high potential to low potential. Electricity flows from high potential to low. Water flows from high potential to low. Similarly, blessings also flow from high to low. If we think I am high, ज्ञानवान मनुष्य और फलदार वृक्ष झुक जाते हैं. An age-old proverb in Muhavara in Hindi we learned, I remember. The vriksha, the trees which are laden with fruits, and a person who is laden with intelligence, not intelligence of physics and maths, but culture, intelligence of Vedic values, that person will be humble and bow down. Those trees, they'll think, oh, I am great. When the storm comes, they are the first ones to go because they choose not to bow down. Similarly, those who are humble, when the storms in life will come, humility is a great treasure. Humility and gratitude is the mother of all qualities, all divine qualities. Anyways, today is like importance of bowing down. So any more thoughts, additions here? Any questions, corrections? Sorry if I overspoke.
Prabhuji, very nice discussion. It helps a lot. And also I have a question. Suppose if when we go someone's house for Bhakti Briksha, suppose we enter the house, so immediately we'll bow down for the hosts, like showing them respect. Like how we'll approach that, Prabhuji?
Yeah, as I said, so I'm assuming that you're going to like a devotee family. Let's say you're going to Sudhir Prabhu's home, just for example, right? And Renuka Mataji opens the door. Okay.
Yeah, and suppose new devotees, that's very new, and
yeah. So there is it's like a depends. Like for example, if it's a Western outreach program and things like that, then we we understand that. But if it's, as I said, it's like there's no like one answer, right? There's no one answer. But in general, as I said, if you're going to a devotee home, let's say Vipul Prabhu's home, and Surya Mataji opens the door, and then we should offer each other's pranam. Whether the other person, Vaishnav always thinks that I am fallen. For our own good, we should bow down. If it's a totally like a brand new program, lot of like a new guest has come, let's say you invited your neighbor to come, that's okay. You can just say Namaste, welcome, Hare Kṛṣṇa, please, thank you for coming. That's also showing a lot of great respect. So see, based on situations, yeah, as I said, but when mostly there are known in a Bhakti Vriksha kind of setting, yeah, there are mostly people who are quite regularly coming, and most of them are regular. We must bow down. We must bow down.
Yes.
If we have things, if we have, let's say we can keep the things and then do, right? Or sometimes we can even do secretively, like this. Because our idea is that I need to bow down to Vaishnavas for my purification. But at the same time, I don't want to make a show on the road, and cause a wrong impression. Hey, what are these ISKCON people? They're like lying on the road. What is this going on, right? Of course, in India, if you lie on the road, like over than parikrama, thousands of people are doing. No, right? So we have to. This was also asked to Bhakti Samit Maharaj in Australia. He was asked this question. Like so if you meet at a grocery store, we don't have, it's okay. We can do Namaste, Pranams, Hare Krishna, and in our heart do it. But if you're meeting in home and in the same cultural environment, then yes, there'll always be some new people. There'll always be some people who will say, hey, this is too much. There'll always be some people who will like it. Wow, look at their culture. Look at their deep culture. They're bowing down to the Supreme Soul in everyone's heart, right? Considering them as Prabhu and themselves as servant Das. This is why we bow down, right? That you are my Prabhu, you're my master, you're my Guru. And does that help, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Very helpful.
I remember. Yes, please tell.
One of the Amarendra Prabhu's lecture, Prabhuji was telling that we are doing that from our childhood. I think everyone is doing that. So bow down your deities at several times a day, as many times as you possible. Just bow down to your deities.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is must. And then Rupa Goswami also did to devotees thousands of times. Because deities will be more happy when we do bow down to devotees, actually. It's the inner secret of the deities. There is a verse which I don't recall exactly the Sanskrit, which the Supreme Lord says, actually, if someone serves the Supreme Lord, whether that person will get their topmost destination or not, this is uncertain. But if someone serves the devotees of the Lord, that person will certainly get the topmost destination. This is very certain. Mad Bhakta Puja Adhika. Same lines. So yes, we must bow to deities. Very, very nice. Multiple times, but we should also bow down to devotees. Right? And charity begins at home. Why not? Because often the family members are also devotees. In the temple environment, if you observe, after Tulsi Puja, they read the Shashtakam and read something about chanting. And what do they say? Let us offer our, and then the 10 Namapradas, and then let us offer our humble and most respectful obeisance unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are just like desire trees, who can fulfill all the desires, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namo. So in every temple, this is the morning program. The day begins. Yes, when we enter the temple, we should bow down, but sometimes, in a hurry, or, we may miss someone, but so we can add that as a part of our morning sadhana, right? So I bow down to all the devotees every day as a part of our morning sadhana. When we see our family members, we can also do bow down. No one is stopping us. No one is stopping us, right? And what will happen? A lot of things will happen from there. Again, I also need to implement it. I missed many times. So I'm just speaking for myself and follow it more strictly. Many times I miss that part. This familiarity breeds contempt. We may take our wife or husband for granted, and we forget that they are also devotees. They're also, whether they're chanting 1 round or 16 rounds or 0 round, that's secondary. But they're also devotees of Krishna. They're also children of my spiritual master. They're also Vaishnavas. At least anyone who has said Hare Krishna once is a devotee. And I'm sure all of your family members present in this call are much more elevated than that, right? So by the definition of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are devotees, right? So we must, and when we see them, we must offer. Now, it may not be practically possible if we are seeing them, let's say 10 times or 50 times a day, but at least once in the morning we can do. Start from there. And that will strengthen the relationship, the family relationship. That will build a stronger cultural foundation. That will give us that I am the servant of this family. I'm not the master. Therefore, I'm bowing down. They are my prabhus, right? I'm a caretaker. I'm a servant. I'm not the master. They are not mine to be enjoyed. They are Krishna's, and I'm the servant of Krishna and theirs. So all these things will come. And when we always remember that they are devotees first, my husband or wife or children second, or father or mother second, they're devotees of Krishna. How will I treat devotees of Krishna? That's how we should treat our family members, right? Easier said than done, right? Easier said than done. Any thoughts on this?
That's very true, Prabhuji. But as you said, easier said than done, because in our culture, like wife will not take our bow down because it is not auspicious to them, right? So yes, both together that we do that, like devotees together, we bow down all together. Even I forgot the Maharaj's name. He came from East Europe like 4 or 5 years back. We actually outside our door to welcome the Maharaj with the garlands and petals. But Maharaj came out of the door, and in the driveway, he did Sastanga Pranam to us. We got embarrassed. so, so yes, we can practice, Prabhuji. You can try. That's my thought.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, that's what we have to keep trying. Anyone else has any thoughts, additions here? Okay. So we covered till 162. 163 also we read. Buying down. So we'll read. Actually, tomorrow is Balarāma Purnima. Very, very special occasion of the appearance of Sri Balarāma, the first expansion of Lord Krishna. And His Grace Śrī Mahāprabhu is going to give a nice class tomorrow on this topic. Then day after, His Grace Adigadhar Prabhu is going to give a class on Lord Balarāma. And on Saturday, we'll hear from His Grace Shyamanand Prabhu about setting the mood for Janmashtami. So please join and invite others also, your family, friends, neighbors, etc., etc., so they can all get the special 3-day nectar from the Vaishnavas.
So, Prabhuji, what is the ideal time to break the fast tomorrow?
Noon. Balarāma Purnima is noon.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, yes, Balarāma Purnima. Noon.
The Gauda Vaishnava calendar, it is not mentioned anything.
Yes, not mentioned, yeah, but noon, I think Balarāma Purnima is fasting till noon.
Okay,
I'll
thank you.
double check. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Chaitanya Caritāmṛta ki jai, Shri Balarāma ki jai, Shri Nityaṁ Prabhu ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Krishna's Courage Goswami ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyo vachapatitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnav Pranaam. Thank you so much. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna.